Welcome back, people, to another episode of your favorite Red Room, which, as you know, speaks about all things Liverpool, which, you know, is not the most favorable topic at the moment. Well, surely things have got to change. The title says, as Liverpool hit SOS mode after the break. I have sent out an SOS, and look what we've brought to the table. We have brought a panel. Jack's in the building today. Jack's usually the man behind the scenes who helps us out and obviously does loads of shows, does the watch-alongs on the Anfield Index YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and like if you haven't. Make sure you go and check out his stuff that he has. One of the hardest working people on YouTube I know. Jack, welcome to the Red Room.
Hello, bud. International football. I was just saying, I was supporting Scotland more than certainly England this week anyway. But so, hope you're well, mate. Hope you're all well, lads, and anyone watching or listening. And let's hope we can get some results over the line in the coming weeks to come.
Absolutely, we're good, man. We're good. Listen, the one thing about being in these situations, right, is the only way is up. Yeah, so that's the way to look at it. Let's see if the eternal optimist who's even lost faith in the last couple of weeks, can he raise it again? We have Scousemo in the building as well. Scousemo.
We're going to win the league, Grizz. I'm joking. You never know. But yeah, I'm good. I'm glad the football's finally back. International breaks just bored the life out of them because I can't really watch it. So it was good to see Scotland get to the World Cup, though. That was quite nice.
Do you know what? I know you guys all have said in the background and this and that, international football, blah, 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 blah. Come on, guys. It was fantastic this week, man. Come on.
Yeah.
There was some...
The Ireland game was good as well.
Oh, Ireland as well, yeah.
Of course it was, man. Come on, guys. You guys are some mad, very, very cynical people, you guys. We've got Welshmo, who's actually Dubai Mo at the moment, because you're out in Dubai. Is that right? With a fresh haircut and a fresh trim? Hello.
I got some work meetings, so I had to have a haircut. And
Please don't give me none of this work meeting
but
stuff.
You've all mentioned international football. You didn't mention Wales. We smashed, we won 7-1 and we made the playoffs as well. So come on, I'm going to have to represent my Welsh boys. Yeah. So yeah, we got Bosnia in the playoffs, and if we beat them, we either face Northern Ireland or Italy. So most likely Italy, I guess.
Well, there you go. How can we not mention? I wanted to mention Wales because I think that was a fantastic result. Macedonia have been quite a team.
They haven't conceded. They didn't concede a goal away from home, and they conceded 7 at us. So yeah,
there were 3 goals apparently in the whole campaign before they came to Wales. So you know, who have you managed to get in the draw? By the way, the draw was made today, wasn't it?
Bosnia.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Bosnia. And that's at home.
That's at home, and if we win that, we get the winners of Northern Ireland and Italy at home as well.
Is that one leg? The final?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
So 2 matches and you can get to the World Cup?
Correct.
Okay.
But I think there's something fundamentally wrong with World Cup qualifiers because Bolivia have lost 10 games and they're in the playoff. Brazil have lost 6 games and they've qualified. Wales lost 2, finished second in the group, and we're going to end up playing Italy and probably get knocked out. So.
No, don't say that. I don't think Italy are all they are cracked up to be. You have definitely got a chance, especially at the stadium that you guys play in. I think Tom Little's in the building for the first time on the Red Room. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But welcome to the Red Room, Tom. How are we?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I can't sit there and say I watched international footy over the break because I didn't watch any of the games. I quite enjoyed my little detox from footy.
What's wrong with you, man?
I was getting back into the basketball. I can't lie. I've been watching the basketball again.
Well, I think looking at your tweets, because I love looking at your tweets.
I love looking at my tweets as well.
Make sure you follow Tom Little on Twitter because he's hysterical. I love his tweets and I love winding him up on Twitter as well. And this week, I sense that Tom's been on the FIFA. Because he said we need a minimum of 3 signings. We'll discuss that, by the way. We'll get into discussion and give him the chance to give context. Because Tom Little wants the 3 minimum signings in January. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. Jack, Liverpool are back this week. Premier League football is back this week. Tell the truth. How are you feeling about it? Are you thinking, no, we're over the worst and the only way is up? Or are you dreading it? Tell me your feelings.
Well, we had that a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? After the international break, we thought it was we turned over a new leaf with the big performances, and then obviously coming back, and then back to reality. Really, it's just this season. It's been a mixed bag. Obviously, listening to you lads on the Red Room and across every Liverpool sphere. Really, it's just lack of inconsistency. But we'll speak about transfers tonight as well. But I think we're just trundling over to January and hoping that we can get a couple of players in, mate. It's, I'd say I'm positive, mate, but that's probably me being quite naive, really, because I think you look at the performance first 5 weeks, the first 5 wins in the season in the Premier League, and then just a lack of inconsistency. But it's that mixed bag, really, of just bringing players into a new system that we'll all speak about tonight. It's square pegs in round holes in certain positions for me, mate, but hopefully we can get the result this weekend. Dicey football. It's going to be difficult. This is the style of game that we've all been worrying you about this season. It's always obviously the City games, the big games this season. Of course, we didn't get the 3 points against City anyway, but the big games we tend to always lift the level. But this is the hallmark. This is the type and style of game that we very much fundamentally struggled this season. And if we can get over this little hurdle, then I think what else? How far? Yeah.
You know what? It's so disheartening, man. Because ever since I've known Jack, and he's been a very, very positive Liverpool fan, and to hear him almost broken there, right? It's like, wow. Now I'll go over to Scousemo. Scousemo, how are you feeling going into this game? Nottingham Forest, we would have loved a home game, so that part of it's good, because at least our record at home, apart from the United debacle, has been fantastic. Could we really have picked a worse opposition, in your opinion?
I mean, if Liverpool are playing, I'm always going to be excited, so I'm excited and I'm looking forward to watching the Reds play. That's a granted. Obviously, this season's been a very big mixed bag. Like, it's just been up and down. You seen what I was like before the City game, thinking that we were back and stuff. In terms of Nottingham Forest, I think you get a home game after the international break, the opportunity to stop the rut against a team who I believe are 19th in the league. A team that's just won their first game with their new manager, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sean Dyche.
Yeah, Leeds 3-1,
yeah, their first game against Sean Dyche, but they're also a team that hasn't won away from home all season. So if you was going to pick a team to come back to and try and stop the rut that we've been in over the last couple of weeks, I think Nottingham Forest is the perfect pick. This might come back to bite me, but Dyche ball, it's going to be very physical. It's going to be, the ball's going to be in the air, etc. But it's Anfield. We've got a good record at Anfield, as you just said. I think we've lost there only twice at home this season. No, twice this year even. Only once this year, this season at home against United. So yeah, I think it's a good game to come back to. Honestly, if you had to pick a game, you'll probably pick Nottingham Forest in the current form that they're in.
Oh, God, she's really done it there, Scousemo. Welshmo, are you going to level it up or are you going to double down? Nottingham Forest, first game back after international break. You're not going to be there, are you, this time?
No, I got to give my ticket away. So it was a choice of sitting in the sun or going to watch Liverpool. I don't know. I had to.
Oh my God, you sellout! You absolute sellout!
No, I had to do it for work. I have no choice. Like so,
I do it for work. I love it.
No, I have to pay for these tickets somehow. So
can the Reds get over the line? Can the Reds?
I'm not as confident as Mo. Like last year, Forest haunts me still, and it still haunts Slot. So I hope we just get over a line. Like the only thing to go for us is a home game. You know, the players have had 2 weeks away from the Liverpool bubble with the international teams. Some of the players may need a bit of a pick-me-up, which I'm a bit concerned about with Dom, with how he went out with Hungary and things like that. So there's a lot of variables, a lot of factors, but I think the home advantage should be enough to see us through. So I'm positive on that.
Tom, you've been discussing Liverpool till the cows come home, Twitter, YouTube, whatever other platform that you use. They're the only ones that I follow you on. And I've seen that you're concerned, worried, but not given up on Slot. The last time I heard you, has anything changed since then? First question.
I still stand by the the funniest thing I'd want the club to do now is give Arne Slot a new contract. I haven't fully backing him, because this is a manager who last year had an combined aggregate score against champions of 15-1 in our favour. You don't just forget how to be a good manager overnight. It doesn't happen. There's been a lot of things that have not gone our way this season. A lot of unlucky situations as well this season. And I think something that, it's not pleasant to be reminded of, but something that I think a lot of people did need to be reminded of is the impact that losing Diogo's had on players. As Robbo said, people are trying to go on about how we only bring him up, or we only bring up the situation after a loss. Andy Robertson's just sent Scotland to the first World Cup in how long? And it's the thing he's mentioned, the day of, he can't get him out of his head. So, I've got a lot of sympathy for these players and the situation that the manager's in as well, because he's got to try and get these players through this. Mr. Figueroa, we've had a bit of unluckiness. I don't think it's been as bad as it has been. Some in certain situations, there have been some which have been bad. I'm not going to lie, but I do think others have been blown out of proportion a little bit. So I'm still fully backing this manager, and I'm looking at this run of games that we got now. I think we had a very tough start to the season, which people kind of just glossed over because maybe the names weren't as big, but these teams have ended up playing quite well to start the season. Now, in this next month, we play 4 of the bottom 5. This is where I expect us to now build up that head of steam, get that run of form, get that confidence back on a consistent basis, and then kick on from there.
Jack, Tom's still on the Slot train. Would you say the fans' consensus of opinion, which way do you think it is? What kind of percentage would you give it at the moment? And I'm talking about all fans, match-going fans, international fans, internet fans, everything. Liverpool fan in a totality. Where do you think the percentage is right now, and what's your take on it?
I concur with what Tom says, 100% behind the manager. There's a lot of variables, as he said. It's a unique situation this season. But Liverpool, what we do as a whole, as a football club, and the players stick together in the difficult moments, most importantly. Obviously, I do quite a bit of social media for Anfield Index as well, gauging a lot of posts, a lot of social media videos, and consuming quite a lot of it. It's as you said, that the match-going fans, it's very mixed as well. But that's not saying people in the ground are thinking very differently as well. But there's a as you lads said last week, it's the motto of Liverpool, and we give managers time, as long as we see gradual progress. But this, as Tom alluded to, and the lads have said already tonight, he's won the Premier League in the first opportunity, and that's a very rare thing to happen at Liverpool Football Club. And players coming in, players going out of the football club. There's still a lot of rotation in January, mate. But I think it's then we'll give Arne time, but that doesn't mean that every Liverpool fan we can't analyse critically, and we'll be disappointed after the result. Of course, it's not good, and certainly the expenditure Liverpool spends on certain individual players, they should be playing better. But that's that culmination of bringing players into a different system, and the manager learning. He's still a very young manager when you look at his time in European football. He certainly got a big learning curve last year against Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, it was on penalties, but I think going into this season's campaign, he'll learn a lot. Hopefully, we go a bit more deeper into the competition, mate. But yeah, it's a lot of mixed bag, mate. I'm even going into this season after obviously the difficult year everyone's had in terms of players and the club. It's difficult, mate. But I think this squad is good enough. The quality's there. It's just a matter of once those square pegs become round, and start slotting into the slot system, pardon the pun, it will become a lot more better. And all that noise that got generated off poor performances will very quickly dissipate really into the foreground really, and start gradual momentum. And I think Arsenal, a big injury at the back as well. But the main thing is we just focus on ourselves. City will be City for me, but for me, get behind the manager. But if say we went on 6 games defeated, like in the last 7 defeats in the last 10 or whatever it's been last couple of weeks, but if that was to continue for a good 2-3 months, I think there'll be a lot more questions will be raised, certainly.
Mo, I think Tom alluded to the run we got now, and I kind of agree with him. In fact, I actually do agree with him in totality, actually, of what he said, especially that even though we've been crap and we've discussed it, there is no disguising that we haven't been crap. We've been unlucky as well. And when I mean unlucky, I mean in terms of the freaky nature of the goals, for example, against City, fixtures, and the way these fixtures are panned out. Now, these are not excuses before, if there's any Arsenal fans or any other club's fans that say, oh, we're making excuses. No. We have deserved to pretty much get every result that we got. So that's the excuses part out of the way. I'm not making an excuse. But there could be explanations and reasons given how, as I said, the away fixtures in a row, 4 away fixtures in a row or something. We didn't play at Anfield for about 3 weeks or something, 4 weeks. Now we play teams that we have no excuses against. Now we have home fixtures. Now we have enough space in between the fixtures. Now we have returning players from injury. I believe only Frimpong, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, only Frimpong is out. And Alisson's back as well.
Yeah.
So now, like Jack says, we need to see, because I think we all slot in. Mo switches it up every hour. But the Welsh Mo, the Scouts Mo, I think we all slot in, but we absolutely want to see progression, understanding of or return of an identity, and just better fluidity, right? And that has to start Saturday.
Absolutely, that has to start. But honestly, I don't think any fan, any of us, can comprehend what the manager and the players are going through this season, genuinely. When a player in Diogo, rest in peace, passes away in the summer, someone that was apparently like a big figure within the changing rooms as well, someone that was close to a lot of the players. When someone as big as that passes away in such a, tragic way, I can only imagine how much that's weighing on their shoulders. Like, we look at them as if though they're just figures on the TV. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're just in a way like, they're not really human. They're just football players. Do you know what I mean? But no, they're human beings. We've seen our best player break down into tears after our first game of the season, after we won that match as well. Break down in tears, literally crying his eyes out. And then you see, as Tom mentioned, Andrew Robertson took Scotland to the World Cup for the first time since 1997.
So our best player, so check this out. So our best player cries after winning and scoring the winning goal, right? Check this out, guys. Point to note. And then our vice captain, probably the happiest day of his season so far, probably the happiest day of his Scottish career so far. Absolutely. Both times bring out their emotions and remember who? Diogo Jota. So for all the watching media fans and pundits alike that say, Liverpool fans only, or Liverpool only bring it up after losses, flip me fire after the 2 most happiest occasions this season so far, Mo scoring the winner and being happy, showed his emotions, crying his eyes out, the most known face in world football, top 3 known faces in world football, crying on your screens. Andy Robertson, the vice captain, on probably the most glorious Scottish day for him personally, talks about this as well. So it's real. These things are real. They're not excuses, they're reasons.
How does anybody really comprehend this? Nobody can really understand what these players are going through. And you know what? Number one person that you got to give the most grace to is Slot. Like, you don't learn this. You don't learn how to coach players that are going through such devastation. How is he supposed to manage? How is he supposed to motivate?
Great point.
It's not something that you learn in coaching school. It's not something he's learned while he was at Alkmaar or whilst he was at Feyenoord. It's something he's learning on a day-to-day. Some days, they might be fine, but the next moment's half-time against Crystal Palace, something might have happened to them and the mentality is completely flipped. How are you supposed to coach that? How are you supposed to train that? So this season, honestly, you need to give a lot of grace to these players. And it's not even about, like, as Grizz mentioned, it's not just when we lose, it's when our highest moments this season. But saying that, at the same time, we still need to see Liverpool perform on the pitch. Like, there's been a combination of so many things that's happened to us this season that's just been so unfortunate. Like Gravenberch being injured at the beginning of the season and a few knocks and injuries. Our first game of the season against Bournemouth was just so intense. Imagine that being your first game. It's mental. And then playing against Newcastle, it was supercharged after the Alexander Isak situation. And then your third game's against Arsenal, the title contenders. It's mental start. But then you've got to play Crystal Palace, who've been on a 17-game unbeaten run. And we played them. And then after that, they went on like a 5-game losing record. It's like, you can't write this. And then you go to Galatasaray away, a bear pit. Then you go to Chelsea away, another bear pit. It's just been so much this season. But now, finally, we're going into some normality. I genuinely think the only game that's been normal for us this season, that's been just a normal, nice, calm game, was that Aston Villa game. When you look at all our games this season, every single one of them, I can tell you something that was a little bit more extra. That Villa game was the only one that I can say was just calm, a nice, regular Premier League match. But now finally we're going into a nice little period when most of these matches are just going to be calm Premier League matches, and they're not going to have that extra layer of whatever animosity, assigned to it. Nottingham Forest, yeah, they've got a new manager, they won their first game. It's going to be difficult, but it's a good fixture to have, can't complain. Then you've got West Ham. Although they've had a terrible home record this season, they've won, I think, their last 2 home games at the Olympic Stadium. So maybe they've got a bit more momentum, but it's a good team to play against if they've only won 2 games all season in their stadium. So hopefully the tide can change now and we can just get out of this rut.
Tom, Bossman says, I can't see any fan being happy coming into the season. Feels like we have nothing to play for anymore. Really?
There's a competition that gets played on Tuesday and Wednesday that we just beat the greatest team of all time in. So we're what? We've got, is it 6 points from 9? Or is it 9 points from 12? I can't even remember how many games we played in it, but there were still...
9.
We're going to be a real contender in that competition. We're going to be a serious threat in that. When you look at the squad this season, it's not what people want to hear, but it's the truth. We look better shaped up for European football and Premier League football at times. Certain new signings just look more comfortable with the European football rather than the pace of the Premier League. Certain players just seem to thrive better with the space afforded on the European stage rather than the Premier League. That is still something massive to play for. There's still stuff to play for in the Premier League. 100% the stuff to play for in the Premier League. I've seen seasons where we were 14 points behind and bring it back so it goes to the last day. That happened 4 seasons ago. That's not out the realms of possibility. I've seen my team do it. Is this team maybe, got the same confidence as that team? No. But it's pretty much on the same level ability-wise. We all know what we were saying in the summer about this squad, so I can't sit there and go, this team hasn't got the ability. 100%'s got the ability to win the league title last season. So there's 100% stuff to play for. We've had a bad run. We've had a run that isn't very normal for Liverpool to go through. We've had a run which rightly deserves some criticism for the way we've played some of the games, and rightly deserves some criticism for the way we set up in some of the games. And rightly, some players maybe deserve a bit of criticism for the way they've played. But I feel like to write off the season in November is mental because we are not as far away as people make out. We're really not. And I don't think there's teams around us that are so many levels ahead of where we are. When I think our worst enemy at the minute is ourselves. I don't think there's a team that's been the definition of our kryptonite. It's just our own mistakes, our own failures are the thing that are holding us back. When I go look at the losses that we've had, how many of them losses can I sit there and go, that was just them being better than us? I'll be honest, there's not many. Because a lot of them you sit there and go, well, that goal we conceded was our own fault. That goal we conceded was our own fault. That goal we conceded was our own fault. There's so many of them where you look at it and you just go, if we can cut down on the individual errors that we're making, these losses, these unlucky losses turn into either undeserved or deserved wins. And all of a sudden you look at the league table going, well, that's very different. That's quite different, isn't it? We're now looking at it in a different position. So I'm just trying not to lose context of the season and get drawn into the hysteria around it. There's still an awful lot to play for. And I've maintained this from the start, I don't think we've been as bad as people have tried to make out. I think we've just not had... Well, we had a bit of luck going for us in the first 5, 6, 7 games of the season. That luck hasn't been there for the last month and a half. So once that returns or once it evens out, I think people will start to see the level that we're at, and it'll be a level which everyone expects us to be at.
Yeah, I've very early, after about 6, 7 games, I very early predicted that it's unfortunately with the amount of turnover in players, it's going to be a transition season for us. Now, I know every Liverpool fan don't want to hear that after winning the league and spending 400 million on. Sometimes you have to think long term, and the reality is not always pleasant to the ears. But I know, and I've also said that I know we're about to be very good again, but it's going to take time, and we have to go through a bit of a shitstorm. And this is a shitstorm we're going through.